Good evening. I am Miss Dark, a criminal investigator, and I welcome you to tonight's chilling case. One that will take us deep into the world of dark crimes, twisted minds, and the stories that refuse to stay buried. As I walk you through this case, know that it's not just a crime story. It's a testament to the darkness that can lie hidden in plain sight. What you're about to hear is based on the meticulous investigation I conducted, all gathered from years of experience, hard work, and a relentless drive for truth. This is the story of a city, a small town, where everyone thought they knew each other, where everyone thought they were safe. But as you'll see, the truth can be more terrifying than fiction. It all started in the winter of 2018, in the quiet town of Westfield. A father and his young daughter were out for a late-night walk, enjoying the quiet, peaceful night. But as they passed a fence on the outskirts of town, something caught their eye. A dark shape, barely visible under the flickering streetlight, appeared to be discarded in the snow. At first, they assumed it was nothing more than a pile of trash, perhaps a large bag, or some forgotten debris. But as they drew closer, their instincts told them something was wrong. The object wasn't trash. It was the body of a woman. Her arms and legs were bound tightly, her face covered by what appeared to be a blanket. The look of fear, even in death, was etched into her face. The scene was horrific. The smell was overwhelming, a scent that would forever be linked to the memory of that night. As the father and daughter stood frozen in shock, they knew they had found something far more sinister than they had ever imagined. The police arrived soon after, their faces just as stunned. What they uncovered was a crime far darker than anyone in Westfield could have anticipated. This wasn't just a random killing. This was the result of months, possibly years, of careful planning, of a predator at work. The woman, identified as Natalie Cartwright, was just 22 years old. She had grown up in Westfield and had struggled with addiction throughout her life. She had spent years in and out of foster homes, trying to find stability. Despite her troubled past, Natalie had made an attempt to turn her life around. She had recently entered a rehabilitation program. She had hope for the first time in years. And yet, someone had chosen to strip that hope away, ending her life before she could even begin to rebuild it. The investigation into Natalie's murder seemed like it would be straightforward at first. But as the detectives dug deeper, they realized they were dealing with something far more complex. There were no clear motives, no witnesses, and no immediate suspects. The town was filled with whispers, but no one knew anything. That is, until we uncovered a name that would haunt us all: David Holden. David Holden was a 48-year-old mechanic who had lived in Westfield for years. On the surface, he was just another quiet, middle-aged man who ran a local shop. His reputation was that of a simple, hard-working individual. But beneath the surface, David held secrets that would lead us into a nightmare. Through weeks of painstaking investigation, we discovered that David Holden had a history that stretched back far longer than anyone realized. He was not the harmless mechanic he appeared to be. He had been linked to the disappearance of another woman, Sarah Thornton, a local college student who had vanished without a trace 2 years earlier. Her case had grown cold, and with no leads, Sarah had simply become another missing person statistic. That was until we connected the dots between her disappearance and David Holden. David's connection to these crimes went deeper than anyone could have imagined. His small workshop was filled with unsettling signs, photographs of women, some of whom had been missing for years. Many of them had their faces crossed out in the photos, as if they were prizes he had claimed, trophies to mark his successes. The discovery of these photographs was the turning point. But what we found next would shock even the most seasoned investigators. In David's apartment, hidden away from the world, we found a treasure trove of disturbing evidence, photographs, video footage, and detailed journals documenting his sickening obsession with his victims. It was clear that David didn't just kill, he tortured. He reveled in the control, in the power over his victims, in the suffering he could inflict. His journals revealed a man who viewed himself as a predator, each woman a target, each victim part of a twisted game he played. Through careful examination of his computer, we found chilling videos, tapes of him torturing, taunting, and tormenting his victims. The digital evidence showed us just how meticulous and methodical David Holden was. His crimes were not impulsive acts of violence. They were carefully orchestrated events designed to feed his need for dominance. As the investigation grew, we connected the dots between David Holden and other missing persons cases. Another woman, Emily Stevens, had disappeared years earlier under eerily similar circumstances. We searched for her remains, and sure enough, in a remote part of town, we found what we feared. Emily Stevens was yet another victim of David Holden. On June 12, 2019, after a thorough investigation and the discovery of irrefutable evidence, David Holden was arrested and charged with the murders of Natalie Cartwright, Sarah Thornton, and Emily Stevens. He was convicted and sentenced to life in prison, where he would never again be able to harm another soul. But as I reflect on this case, there is still something that haunts me. How many victims did David Holden have that we will never know about? How many women fell through the cracks, their disappearances never linked to him? And most unsettling of all, how many more are out there, walking among us, hiding their true nature behind a mask of normalcy? This case serves as a grim reminder. We must never let our guard down. Predators like David Holden can hide in plain sight, blending in, waiting for the right moment to strike. And it is up to us to remain vigilant, to search for the truth, even when it's buried deep beneath the surface. As this case was closed, I want to thank you for joining me on this journey into the dark. If you found this story as chilling as I did, please take a moment to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you never miss another story from the world of dark crime. There are many more cases to uncover, more twisted minds to expose, and I'll be here to guide you through each and every one of them. Stay safe, stay vigilant, and remember, there's always more beneath the surface.